In this video, we're going to talk about offset surfaces and some of the things that we can use them for. So the example on the screen is two separate surfaces that have been knitted together. So we have one single surface. So for instance, if we wanted to extend this upper surface out and try to use the extend surface option, we can't do that because it's a single entity. They're knitted together into one surface. So for this, we could use the offset surface command. We could change the offset dimension to 0. And one thing you'll notice is that the top heading that says offset surface, as soon as we OK that selection, it changes to copy surface. This allows us to make a copy of the existing surface. So then we can hit OK. We can hide our original and notice that we just have a copy of the upper surface. So then we can use other operations such as extend surface to simply extend these out into space. Well, let's take a look at another example that we can do. So if we show our original set of surface bodies, we can go ahead and use the offset surface command and offset it 1/4 inch in either direction. Now, one thing you'll notice is that it's offsetting normal to the surface. So if we look at this from the top, our surface is not going directly up in the Y direction, but it's going normal to the curvature of our surface. So let's go ahead and offset this into our part and take a look at what we can do. If we then use our extend surface command, we can extend this body out so that it intersects our current surface bodies. This allows us to do things like use the curves dropdown and create a split line where these two intersect. This will allow us to do things such as delete faces or simply use these faces as edge selections. We can then perform the same operation using this upper edge. We can offset it a smaller amount inwards. And again, we can use the extend surface option to simply extend this edge up. That allows us to do the same thing again. We can use our split line and create an edge located within our original surface. Now, this is still a single surface body. We just have edges that we created, so we have a good selection process. This is useful if you want to do things such as make a custom blend for these edges. We can delete these faces, or we could keep them there and simply create the surrounding geometry. But now this allows me to do things such as create a boundary surface going between these two and add some sort of relation such as tangency or curvature. So you can see this is a good way to make a custom blend between a very complicated perimeter of our surface. So what are some other things that we could use this for? Well, if you get farther down in a design and say you have a bunch of holes or different features in your part, you can always roll back the tree, create a 0 offset surface or a copy of that surface so that you have that selection later on in time for things such as creating an extrude to surface operation. So let's go back to this original example and let's look at one more thing that we could do as well. So let's say we needed to extrude a surface. So we have this sketch right here, which I'm going to show. I'm going to create a new sketch on the top plane, and I'm simply going to offset this 0.1 inches outside of our original perimeter. If we wanted to extrude this up, but we wanted it to stop at the surface that's extending out from this body, we would need to create an offset surface, copying the original surface, and then extending that out. This now gives us the option to create an extrude and end extrude up to surface. So now if we take a look at the solid body we created, its extrusion ended at the extended surface we created. This is a good way for you to do things such as take our new surface and simply cut the solid body. So now if we hide our surface, you can see that we've actually cut away that solid body we've created. There are several other ways to make this type of geometry, but this is one of the ways that you can use your offset surface or copy surface commands to help you create complicated geometry without a bunch of extra steps.